Hi! Please join me in this video as I paint a modern Nordic mural. I'm Dana Harris Seeger, and this is my Baltic handmade life. For this mural, I am going to be using a combination of house paint, this is interior latex paint, and acrylic paint. And they're both acrylic based or latex based, so I can mix them together. And I want to get the coverage of the acrylic because it tends to be a little bit more opaque, and the color and durability of the house paint. And if I was doing this outside, I would definitely want to use exterior paint, but because this is an interior mural and it's not going to have any kind of exposure to the elements other than a little bit of moisture because it's in a bathroom, so I can use my basic acrylic paint. I've got some brushes, I have a pencil for laying out my design, and I'm going to mix up some colors. Probably going to use this plain red and maybe make this little pinkish color a little bit lighter, and then a grayish blue. And that's going to correspond to the shower curtain that I have in the bathroom. So I want it to kind of correlate with that. So let's get started. So we're going to be basing our design on this shower curtain, which is kind of like a modern Scandinavian design. And we're going to come over here and sketch it on the wall. So the main motif is going to be this central flower, which I kind of want to center here, because when I look in the mirror, that's what's going to be like that. So if I start it in the middle of the towel rack, and I'm just using a regular pencil for this. And let's see, the flower's gonna come. Think about that too. To think about this too and how that's gonna go. So I want that to be above that, so the flower's gonna come. I like to use brushes that are the width or the size that, just the size that I need. Because otherwise, if you spend too much energy with a small brush, trying to put down all the paint, this one might be a little bit small for this, but it just takes way too long. Plus, the bigger the brush, the more paint it holds, and the longer it'll go before you have to dip again. The edges are getting a little bit rough. I can either add more paint or I can dip my brush in a little bit of water. And keep going. If you haven't mixed enough paint or you're running out of a color and you need to mix some more, it's best to finish a motif before you start a new one, because if you run out in the middle of a motif and you've got two different colors, it can get very noticeable. But if it's slightly different in a different area on a whole other section, it's not so noticeable. The other benefit to doing the color first and then overlapping is that if you don't do the whole solid and then come over it on top, you get the white background shining underneath, the white of the wall. If it's another color, you might want to paint white first to let it dry, just to give that a base coat. If you have like a dark wall that you just want to paint the whole thing onto, you could do that. Because sometimes these colors are kind of transparent, meaning that the underlayer will show through. So when you're done with a color and you want to switch colors or just clean your brush, I like to take a paper towel or a Kleenex and clean off as much of the paint as it can, because that way, since it's acrylic, you don't want to put too much acrylic down the sink or it'll harden into a big plastic ball. So using warm water, a little bit of soap, and wiping off most of the paint is a good idea. A little bit of soap. Don't forget the handle. You want to make sure you open up the bristles a little bit and get in there, because paint will get in there too. There we go. And then it's ready to move on to color number 2.